Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all of my conscious companions around the world, welcome to another episode of the Conscious Companions with your host, first of all, the man right here, the MVP of BDE. Yes, right, baby. Christopher Devine is in the building. Of course, you got me, the self-talk engineer, the BEST when it comes to NLP, Charles Woolfolk. Hey, y'all, if you are on a podcast platform, give us brothers 5 stars and some feedback. If you're on YouTube, you go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe too. Kris, what is popping, bruh? What you been up to, man?
Charles, man, it's been a while. Love to see you, man. Man, look, I was going over some of the videos and I'm like, man, every time you do that, I just want to be like, where's my horns at?
Turn Jamaican bookshop. Oh man. Hey, today, you guys, we have an exciting day for you as usual, because when Kris is in the building, especially with the hang time he's got, you guys, Kris is growing his hair fast like a weed dog. You put some kind of like African ointment or something in there, like some olive oil or something. What are you doing over there?
Taking that biotin. A little fresh oil, it's coming out, I had it braided the other week, so that helped a little bit. It's coming, man. It's been growing fast.
Hey, yo, my man's got hang time like Spud Webb over here. I see you, dog. And if you don't know who Spud Webb is, a professional basketball
5'6" basketball player
that won a dunking contest. For all you young cats out there, no. Hey, speaking of young cats, we both had a birthday, by 36, man.
36, another year around the sun.
Yeah. Right, I feel outstanding, man. I feel really, really good. You know what the best part? I feel good because I feel like I've been through so much crazy stuff in my life that I can navigate this world with just a little bit more experience, and that knowledge of the experience gives me a bit more wisdom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like you feel like you've gone through mostly everything before, that you got a leg up now, that you can feel like you can just navigate it just a tad easier now.
100%. I went through my first divorce. So now I know, hey, gotta sign that prenup, baby. Gotta sign that prenup. Okay. Like, Bree, you better get ready. You better get ready to have an argument, because you gotta go sign that prenup. I don't care if it's written on a napkin. I'm writing something down. You feel me? Hey, I don't care if I got exactly. I don't care if I got 1,000 in the bank. I'm keeping all 100 hundreds in there. You feel me?
You mean about 10 of them?
Cuz not today. Or 100. Yeah, you're right. Golly. See, I can't even blame it on private school. That's public school. That's private school education right there. Hey, but
10 of them things.
I'm gonna keep it all 10, all right? All 10. Hey, one thing, so I might not be good at math, but one thing I am good at is neuro-linguistic programming. That's right. I am a practitioner and trainer of neuro-linguistic programming. What I love to do is help people cure themselves of anxiety and PTSD. And Kris has he's agreed to be my lab rat, my guinea pig on some of these techniques. And it's been working out. How's it been with your mindset and everything lately, bro?
I will say I have had a minor slip up, just my normal routines and everything. I volunteered for the election the other week, and it just threw me all the way out.
Right.
It threw me all the way out. Being there 12, 16 hours a day. Man, but tons and tons of people turned out for the election. It was beautiful. And man, but just over the past couple of weeks, I just had this crazy energy, just not having a lot of Mia and Jen actually just been sluggish. And like feel like this like whole like resetting. So that's kind of the energy that I've been lately. So it kind of threw me off my routines a bit. So just trying to get back into it a week. Plus, everything would work and just got to get back into it.
For sure. Today we're going to work on your internal conversation. We're not going to change it. We're not going to work on changing the internal conversation with like any type of picture, like changing the picture in your mind or like readjusting anything. What we're going to do is actually change the voice of the person or of how you speak to yourself. And that's really friggin' exciting. So like the details of a picture or an event or the voice in your mind are all called submodalities in the neurolinguistic programming space. So we're going to change the submodalities or the details of that voice. So let me go ahead and pull up the submodality checklist for you. All right. So I want you to pick emotion: anger, sadness, or fear.
Anger.
Okay, then. Okay, anger. When you have like a stint of anger, do you have a voice that goes off in your mind? So stupid. I could only imagine, Doug. I could only imagine.
Hey, you got the same voice.
That's right. Hey, those four words. Yeah, I know. You better shut the. You better talking to me, yo. All right. So with that, I just want you to pay attention to that voice. All right, go ahead and close your eyes. Everybody out there, you guys, I'm gonna show y'all how to change that internal voice in your mind as well. So Kris has got his eyes closed, and I want you to get in touch with that voice in your mind. Let me know when you can internally hear it. Got it? All right, cool. Now, with that voice, I don't need to know the content of the voice. You're my best friend. I can already tell what it is. However, I want to know, when you hear it, do you think it's internal or is it external? Internal. Okay. Now, is it loud or is it soft?
No, it's loud.
It's loud. Is it fast, normal, or slow?
Normal.
Is it high pitch or low pitch?
Probably high pitch.
High pitch. Like, you better. Shut the hell up talking to me like that. Are there any pauses in it? Are there any pauses in this conversation? No pauses. Is there a cadence? You know, a cadence like how somebody talks with a certain cadence, or like, you know, how a quarterback.
Pretty straightforward.
He's going over the voice right now. You see his lips moving.
It's a pretty normal cadence.
Okay, normal cadence. And is there a uniqueness to the sound of that voice? That is.
Like me.
Sounds like you. All right. So now let's go ahead and switch this voice up a bit. All right. So instead of it being internal, let's make it external. Like it's coming from speakers. Go ahead, close your eyes. Yeah, we're gonna shift that voice in your head. All right. The same thing is saying, but instead of making it internal, let's act like it's coming from like a speaker.
Okay.
All right. It's coming from a speaker. Now, it was loud. Let's make it soft.
Okay.
Make it soft. Like you know. All right. And it was normal. Let's slow it down, like Eeyore. Okay.
Do I need to say it?
Nah, you ain't got to say anything. But once again, it was internal. Now it's external. It was loud. Let's make it soft. Turn the volume down on it, all the way down. And it was normal, but let's slow it down. Slow it all the way down. And it was a high pitched voice. Let's make it a low pitched voice. Let me know when you made it a low pitch voice.
Slow.
Got it? Okay. There was no pauses in it. Let's put some pauses in it, like Bernie Mac. All right. But it's still going to be low and slow and soft. Put some pauses in it.
Chopped and screwed.
Yeah, exactly. Let me know when you've done that.
Yeah.
Awesome. And there wasn't a cadence, but let's kind of put a cadence to it, like put a beat to it. Okay. And now, so you said it sounded like you. Make it sound like somebody else, like somebody funny or calming. One of the two. Pick one. And then when you pick that person, you let me know who it is. Dave Chappelle. How did I know? And just listen to that voice now. Listen to that voice. Saying the same things, but it's coming from like a speaker, and it's soft and it's slow. There's a low pitch and there's some pauses, but there's a cadence, and it sounds like Dave Chappelle. Once again, let's make it external, like it's coming from a speaker, and make it soft, then make it slow, and then make it a low pitch. Put some pauses in there from time to time, but it also has a cadence, just like a quarterback. And it's Dave Chappelle talking. And when you've made all those changes, I want you to lock it into your mind, just like how you close a door and you lock it. Let me know when you've done that. Awesome. And when you're comfortable with all those changes and you've locked it into your subconscious, you can go ahead and open your eyes when you're ready. Welcome back. All right. So now, of course, ask you a question to get your mind off of that meditation. Do you smell biscuits?
Yes.
No.
Fresh out of the oven.
Sky every time. He's not making biscuits, by the way, you guys. And I'm not a hypnotherapist like that. I don't make you smell stuff. Anyway, so now that voice in your mind, how does it sound now?
Chopped and screwed.
Yeah. Describe the feeling that you have within yourself now when you hear that voice.
I'm just like,
yeah, it's funny. Mm-hmm. Now, I forgot to ask you about it before, so sorry about that, all you guys in the audience. But like, if you were to hear that voice before in your head, what would that trigger within you?
Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Just like, screw it, whatever. Where would you feel that in your body when it came to that old voice?
Probably in my gut.
In your gut, yeah. And on the intensity of 1 to 10, how intense would that old feeling make you feel, or that old voice make you feel?
Depends on the anger, but usually when it's that level, it's out.
Yeah. All right, so now that we've switched the voice in your mind, the sensation obviously makes you want to laugh. Where do you feel that in your body?
Heart.
In your heart. Yeah, that's much better. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how intense is it?
Like intense. I mean, I guess it's still pretty intense.
Yeah. But it's just in a different way.
It's in a different way.
Yeah, that works so much when it comes to any emotion too. For example, I'm starting to do more marketing and everything nowadays, and I'm working with like ClickFunnels and MailChimp. I have a personal assistant, or no, a virtual assistant now, and I'm forcing myself to do all these things. But like I just said, I was forcing myself instead of like being focused on completing tasks one by one. And then I would kind of get frozen in this like feeling of, I don't know where to start.
Yeah. I get that a lot too.
So the voice in my head was like, first of all, it was me, and I was downplaying myself. It was loud. It was really fast. No, in fact, it was slow. Kind of sounded like Snuffleupagus. And then it was a normal pitch, no pauses, and there was really no unique sound. So what I did was I made it from internal to like it being me to external, and then I made it go from loud to soft. I went from normal to fast, and then I turned up the pitch, and then the uniqueness of sound, I played circus music on it. Like right. So now that feeling that I used to have of I don't know where to go and I don't know where to be, it's just like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to be curious. And I did that last week, and my production has shot up to where now like I'm way more like on task when it comes to getting things done for my virtual assistant to getting things done that I need to do. So my virtual assistant can go ahead and do more things. Like I am in a place now to where I guess it's giving me a bit more self-belief in myself. I mean, because I'm not listening to that old voice. I'm just like, yo, I need to be focused on what I have now. That old voice is just gone. You know what I mean? Like the content of the voice doesn't even mean anything no more. Right. It's just like, all right, let's go. It's kind of like give you that party feeling. Like, all right, let's go. You know what I mean? Like Tigger, like, yo, all right, then we about to have some fun. We about to be curious. We about to find out.
It's like when you're a kid and you don't have no program.
Exactly. Next week, I'm curious to see where this new voice in your mind takes you, because this new voice in your mind, whenever you do get mad, it's going to have like pauses in it. It may not even sound, it probably won't even sound like you. It sound like Dave Chappelle on the Trap to Screw mixtape. You feel me? Yeah. And it's like, all right, okay. In which you've already done so much mindset work that then with you doing this work right here, you can like pause. Just pause for a second, because with that one pause, it will help you find empathy and compassion and hopefully forgiveness and acceptance with anybody that you're like corresponding with. And just find that one moment to where you're like, man, just chill. Like, I don't even have to react like that. And with that, you can also find like so much wisdom and so much more productivity within your leadership as well. Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah. I would definitely have to do that and practice a couple more times, but I can already hear it resonate.
Yeah. If you want to, when we get off the air, we can set up a time this week and we can do it a couple more times where, I can close the shop, call you real quick. You could close it, you close your door in the office and you could just do it. It only take, you see, it only took like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'm
All right, perfect. Perfect. And that's for everybody, all you guys out there. Like, with what I do with neuro-linguistic programming, it can be a one-time thing. And if it does, that's awesome. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to mental and emotional release, the most powerful meditation that I have in my bag, where I'm helping you shift your perspective upon the negative and traumatic things that happen to you in your life. Usually that one works like that. That's why I got the Drop Your Baggage podcast too. On the Drop Your Baggage podcast, where I talk to people that are dope, that can bring you hope and show you a technique that can help you cope. That's where that's where I show people the mental and emotional release process. You feel me? And that was really powerful. You can only do that like maybe once. If twice, that means that we didn't take care of a limiting belief. But with some of these other techniques that we show right here on the Conscious Companions, it could take maybe 2 or 3 times to like really lock it into your subconscious. But then after that, boom, you are set. And the whole process of it is that you are taking control of your mind instead of your mind controlling you throughout your days. And that's that's just us just becoming conscious of our behavior, us just becoming conscious of our thinking, us just becoming conscious of the persons that we are, the people that we are. Like we are now able to see like, yo, our thoughts control our actions. And if our thoughts are controlling our actions, then let's control our thoughts as much as possible with the way that we see things. And now, Kris, with the way that we hear things in our minds as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And just being able to recognize when those negative thoughts are occurring, because that has happened to me where some negative thoughts were starting to come in, and I'm like, wait, where is that coming? Like it just didn't feel right. So like immediately I'm like, all right, I need to start meditating, getting back to it, because those couple of days being thrown off track, then stuff starts creeping back in. Just open that doorway for stuff to creep in, when you stop doing that work on yourself.
Yo, it's so vital. Like what I've started to do nowadays is I've started to listen to motivational speakers again. So before I got into neuro-linguistic programming and like started reprogramming my mind subconsciously, I would replay motivational speeches all the time. But I found myself listening to more sports podcasts lately, right? Sports podcasts, or I would listen to a Breakfast Club, and some of these things that just aren't relevant to me. And I saw that my positivity was down. My conversations were of lower quality. They were just lower level conversations. My whole frequency was off. My energy was way off. I'm like, yo, what was I doing back then that was working? And what do I need to get back to now so I can get back to that higher frequency? And I turned on Pandora because I love to listen to comedy on Pandora sometimes on the way back to the crib. And instead of going on the comedy right away, it went on to Dr. Eric Thomas's page instead. And I was like, yo, this is it. Like it was crazy how all of that unfolded. So I started listening to Dr. Eric Thomas again and C.T. Fletcher. And then in the mornings, I'll listen to Earl Nightingale, or I'll listen to a book, or I'll listen to Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill's got like a whole lesson on YouTube. Like I think it's the 13 Master Keys of Success. Yo, he be spitting game. And like now Bree's listening to it, and it's like the frequency is raised so much higher, more positive, talking about goals instead of like what other people are doing, talking about our health and the blessings that we have instead of the messed up things that we have in the world. Like, yo, it's really, really starting to benefit our lives in an exponential way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks. You know what I mean? So like with the meditation that you do, especially with my help this week, like how does that affect you? What type of mood does it put you in? Like what type of space does it put you in energetically?
Well, I think I started back doing it Sunday. Took like a little bit more than off. What kind of mood and what kind of zone it puts me in? More of a calming, more of a confident, like I know what I'm doing type of position, type of feeling. I guess it just helps me get a little bit more clarity. Sometimes when you have a lack of energy, when you just get a little foggy brained, and sometimes you just need that time to just connect with yourself and just clear the cobwebs, just get a little clarity in life, and that's what it does to me. It gives me energy, because even during that time I wasn't working out. Now starting to get back into it and get my routine back and get back to me and myself. Get out of this little fog, and just understanding how one little situation keeps throwing me off of my routine, and understanding how I myself work and how I'm such like a rhythm person that I have to be in rhythm, do everything, and when I get thrown off rhythm, it takes a minute for me to get thrown back into rhythm, and just me realizing that, and trying to figure out like how I can better jumpstart that quicker. But just me realizing just like how I'm just always got to be in rhythm is just like me just learning more about myself. Me having that knowledge now, I can see that like, oh, when I get thrown off this way because I'm not doing my regular routines of waking up at this time and doing this and writing my journal. Like when I get thrown off of that, like how do I get back to? So now that I've gone through this, I'll be able to better realize that the next time that this comes around.
Like momentum is something else, bruh. Like it's like when I've seen it to where like momentum is definitely real. It's a shift in energy, or it's just like a pausing of energy. And once you get out of that, it takes a little bit to get it back going all over again.
Yeah.
So like, but like you being able to jumpstart it. I think next week we can go over a process. We can make like a specialized process for you, something that's custom made for you. I love that.
It's funny because like the first time we went over like keeping my routines when I'm traveling and things like that, and perfect. Like went to Sedona, kept my routines, went to Joshua Tree, kept my routines, like went to all these trips and was still able to keep my routines. But then I'm home and
threw you off.
And that threw me off. Like the hours, the getting home super late, like just everything about it just like threw me off. And like for like a week I was you know what, I get stuff.
Yeah. Well, like I mean, it's always the perfect time. Like to start is always the perfect time to start is always now. So like good on you for getting back into it and for realizing it. Hey, and that's so key, dog. Like, man, with you doing the work that you're doing and focusing on you, man, that's so vital because you got a partner. You got a partner in life. So like if the energy's off and this, that, and the other, you could always blame outside things. Like, man, this isn't working and that isn't working. But it's like, no, how am I working on the inside? Like I need to change my own oil. I need to go ahead and rejuvenate myself. I need to get back to what was working out there and bring it right back to here and get back into my normal routine. Yeah, that's big, man. Like I definitely gone through that plenty of times, especially with having like a partner as well. You know, we would go out during like weekends or we would go out during the week and it would just throw me all off. We could talk about that later though. We could talk about that later. Right now, we do have to get to our principles of the week. Yeah. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We always give a principle of the week that we just live by, that we really appreciate, and that is something that carries us to the next level where we can take ourselves to another place of wealth and health and prosperity, but also inspire each other to do the same thing. So the principle of the week this week for Kris, go ahead.
My principle of the week this week is try and fail, but never fail to try, which is pretty on point when it comes to me and my gratitude journaling, just my whole setting my routine up and being consistent and diligent with that. Yes, I did fall off the wagon, but I didn't fail to try. And I will learn from that and I will continue.
Yeah, real talk. Like on a different subject too, it's like, yo, if we're out here and we are wanting to make a better life for ourselves, we're going to have to get out of our comfort zone in some way, shape or form and do something that we've never done. And like, yo, it's okay to fall flat on your face. The homie David Goggins, in fact, he just had a post about it 2 weeks ago. You know, he was talking about how somebody that tries isn't really failing. You're failing when you quit, but that person that's trying is on this journey to success. Like if you keep trying over and over and over again. If you are trying to execute, but then it doesn't work out the way that you want it to, you still learn something from that experience. I mean, hell, Thomas Edison tried to create the light bulb like 1,000 times. Yo, Colonel Sanders, like he was old, like way older, like in his 60s or 70s when he finally, popped with Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yo, you got to keep trying. And if you don't give up on yourself.
And he went around and sold it store to store and they wouldn't buy it. And just took a couple of them and he just kept doing it. You know, I think he went around to like 1,000 some stores trying to sell his chicken and took 1,001. And it's all took off from there.
Yeah. And like we were just talking about the homie Russ the rapper. He said that he wasn't working hard enough and that, he just wasn't popping. So what did he do? He got to work and he started making a song a week. My brain might be fogged this week because Bree and I are on a eating fast right now. We're not doing anything except for liquids. We do add some broth into it, so I don't know if that's cheating. Usually I go on a straight water fast, but this week we're on nothing but liquids, and
you can't even drink protein shakes.
Not doing protein shakes, no. So, hey, my principle of the week is to have a long-term investment mindset. And what I mean by that is like when you make a long-term investment, you're not looking at what's going on now. You're not looking at like what the picture looks like now. What you are looking at is what's going to be there in the long term. So like if I want to lose weight and I see myself right now at like 250 pounds, then I was like, dang, you can get discouraged. And then, the next week, you've only saw that you lost like maybe 2 pounds. So it's like 250 to 248. That's not a lot. If you're looking at that, that won't carry you until the next week, into the next week, into the next week. You're going to lose momentum. But if you have the long-term investment goal, if you have the long-term goal to where you're like, yo, I'm not worried about the 250. I'm worried about the 200 I'm trying to get to. I'm not worried about what Apple or the stocks look like right now. I'm looking at what happens when the economy comes back. You know what I mean? I'm not looking at the house that I just bought right now. I'm looking at the future and the palace that it could be. You feel me? Like, and that's for everything. That's for relationships. That's for investments. That's for yourself. That's for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, yo.
Delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification, yo. 100%. 100%. Like, yo, I know times are hard right now, but I'm not looking at what's going on right now. With my picture in my mindset, all I see is the goal that I have 5, 10, 15 years down the line. And that's what carries me every day to go ahead and get to work, to be a blessing as much as I can, to make sure I keep my energy and my vibrations high, to make sure I keep that vision, because that vision is what's just going to drive you. It's going to drive you to just grind harder, to grow more, to do more, So it's like, yo, have that long-term investment mindset. Invest into your mind, invest into yourself, invest into your relationships, invest into your energy and your frequency, y'all. Like, and it's not about what happens now. Like, you can be in a crappy place right now, but yo, if you invest into yourself with all the positive things, with all the knowledge, with all the love, with all of the correct exercises, whether it be through meditation or actual exercise like the running and the lifting weights, the yoga, all these different things. Like, these are the things that are going to help you become the person that you want to in the long run.
Absolutely. And it's funny because me and Jen were having a conversation about that earlier today, because one of those students came back wanting to get his high school diploma because he realized that now he needs kid started working senior year in high school, thought he was making a lot of money. He was like, what do I high school diploma for? And it happens a lot. People don't realize, like, it's delayed gratification. You're going to need that, but now you're coming back years later to get it because you should have got it with chance, but you thought you were making a lot of money then when you realize, but now you realize you're going to need that to make it
100. And usually you don't really know what you got to invest into, but make sure that you listen to the people around you, because like, yo, guaranteed those teachers were like, what are you doing? You're messing up. That principal was probably like, what are you doing? You messing up. The people that cared around him was like, what are you doing? You messing listen up. Like, yo, listen to those folks around you. Listen or listen to people that are wiser than you and how to make those investments within yourself. And always, always, always don't fail to try. Yeah. I love it.
Always believe in yourself and invest in yourself. And if you invest in yourself, you always go. If you quitting on yourself, ain't nobody gonna fight for you if you ain't fighting for yourself.
100%. 100%. They all, what they say in the hood, they say you can't help nobody, they ain't gonna help themselves. You feel me? Yo, man, Kris, hey, it's crazy. Like 36 years old, we like, I think we about 20, 30 years from being a guru, God. Hey, thank you so much for like meeting up with me today. Hey, it's been too long, and let's keep the momentum going on this as well, for sure. Hell yeah. And hey, you guys, thank you all so much for listening to the podcast, the Consciousness Companions. As we grow, we're gonna help you grow as well. I thank you for joining our journey. If you're on YouTube, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. If you're on a podcast platform, hey, give some brothers, get these two kings some 5 stars. You know what I mean? If you made it to this point. Hey, Kris, got anything else to say to the people out there?
Yeah, just continue to live life as beautifully as possible, and continue to follow your dreams and your passions.
100. With that, you guys, take care of yourself. Take care of one another. Peace.